Good evening. It's March 23rd, 2025, Sunday, and I'm with the World War Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you feeling today, Mr.?
Good, I'm very good.
You're looking well.
Oh boy.
I heard you had a special visitor, Amber.
Yeah.
She's a nice girl. Amber Nicole Jeckovich is Mr. Jeckovich's great-granddaughter, and she visits often. What a wonderful, kind-hearted person. I wish we had more in the family like her. But unfortunately, Mr. Jeckovich doesn't. They all ran away. They all ran away. So, you're looking good. How you feeling? Pretty good?
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Jeckovich was in Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. We're reading your book once again. We're starting from the beginning, and now we're on Chapter 3, which is titled, You're in the Army. This page is 49. At this point, Mr. Jeckovich was drafted as a teenager, and so far he's been to several different Army camps. You've been all over the southeastern United States, and now you have you back up north in Indiana, 300 miles next to your house.
Yeah.
So you went full circle, and you're same time zone as your house, and you're also only 300 miles away.
Yeah.
Now. So you went full circle. But that was great news, because otherwise, if you're sent to California,
You go to Pacific.
which wouldn't be good,
No.
you probably wouldn't be here. You'd probably be pushing up daisies. So that was luck had it your way, actually. Luck had it your way. Okay, I'm going to start reading here. And this is page 49, but I would need your dog tag number first.
42965.
Okay. You're listing a few of the guys you met at this last camp in Indiana. Private Spotsta, how was he?
That typical tally.
From New York, from an unattached unit, he was a product of the East Side. He was the most undisciplined member in the squad, and he had no conception of authority. He was always a manipulative and unscrupulous behavior that kept him from a stay in the guardhouse. So he's a real character then, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sposto, yeah.
The other members of the squad were new arrivals like myself, and they started at the bottom in the line of progression. And eventually they would reach a level of achievement through hard work and perseverance. Hard work and perseverance. We don't hear much of that today, do we?
No.
Everyone gets appointed to something because of their sex, their genders, their colors, their nationalities, with no talent at all, but send your ass right to the top. So back then it was based on hard work and perseverance.
Yeah, and merit.
Meritocracy, merit, correct. There was also Private Graham. How was he?
Private Graham?
Yeah.
He didn't know what was going on.
From another squad, an ex-policeman from Manhattan, who everyone thought was too old to be in a ground combat unit. He was the oldest member of the platoon outside of Sergeant Rubert, and had a difficult time keeping up with the pace.
What was his name?
His name was Private Graham.
Graham?
He was an
big fat guy. He's an ex-cop.
How would they get him in at such an old age?
I don't know.
What's considered an old age?
They don't. At 25 is that's it at the end.
At 25 you're shot.
Yeah.
It's the teenagers with the stamina. How about Private Smith?
Smith?
From South Carolina.
He was a grumpy old guy. He was married with 2 kids, and he's worried about the family. He's not worried about what he's doing.
Okay. Private Smith, also from another squad, was from South Carolina and adamant about injustices in the Army. He was drafted several weeks before he was to be married, and completely preoccupied with his fiancee's welfare and faithfulness to him while stationed in the Army. He had moved her to the near town of Evansville. I didn't know that, so he moved her by being drafted so he could be next to her in Evansville.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't think the Army would allow that.
Well,
And was looking forward to great anticipation to his first 3-day pass. Wow. Wow. So he must have been really
Yahoo.
a jealous guy. He thought he thought his fiance was cheating on him,
Yeah.
so he moved him under his thumb in the same town where the training was being done. Wow. What a way to start a marriage. Wow. No trust, no love. Where you go. Private Gaffney, how about Private Gaffney? How was he?
Gaffney?
Yeah.
New York City.
Everyone came from New York, huh?
Yeah, western New York, yeah.
Private Gaffney, also from New York, was a little older than the general group, but he displayed his maturity in a constructive manner. He had spots that soon struck them a beautiful admiration pact, and they were inseparable from the moment on. I trailed somewhere at the tail end of this group, and my only hope was far sustaining any reasonable state of lasting friendship, was to look beyond my own squad and to the other squads that made up my platoon. Well, you remembered every one of those guys.
Yeah.
You think any of them are alive?
No, probably some of them, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Our first day began at Reveille at 5:30 hours. Your Reveille was 5:30 hours. What are you worried about your appointment tomorrow at 10:50, almost 11 a.m.? You were getting up at 5:30 back then.
Yeah, well, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, we were getting up at 5:30 back then, in which we fell out in formation on the barracks on the company street. There was a brief roll call, which everyone had to be accounted for. Breakfast followed shortly, in which Staff Sergeant Rowie, how's Rowie?
Who?
Rowie, R-O-W-I.
He's a regular army.
The mess sergeant usually afforded an excellent meal, so he had good meals there.
Yeah.
I thought Sergeant Rowley was first-rate fella, having served under him while doing KP several times at Breckinridge. So he was also at Breckinridge, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Usually after breakfast, we would have a short formation in front of the barracks, and this time we were told what uniform of the day was to be, and generally what would encompass our schedule for that particular day. This day would start off as a march to the supply room to draw individual TO weapons. What's TO?
Table organization.
Okay. Since I was ammo bearer, I would draw a carbine. Gunners and assistant gunners drew 45 pistols, as they carried the receiver tripod of the machine gun. Squad leaders drew M1 rifles and did section leaders and platoon sergeants. Platoon leaders carried carbines along with a map case, binoculars, compass, and minor spare parts for the field radio. That's interesting, the field radio. Did you use a field radio much?
No, they did. I didn't.
I wonder how the reception was back then.
Huh?
I wonder how the
Oh,
reception...
there were strong radios, yeah.
After the weapons draw, we marched to a shaded area to hear a lecture by Lieutenant Conti. How was Conti? Conti.
New Yorker, Italian New Yorker.
What's that?
He was an Italian New Yorker.
Did you have any Polish people in there?
No.
No Polish people?
No. Scottish and Italian.
How about Irish?
Maybe some Irish, yeah.
How about blacks?
No black, no.
By Lieutenant Conti on the function of the Heavy Weapons Company, which in essence was the support to rifle companies. As I was there listening to the lecture, I reverted to my old habit of looking at everyone and putting them into categories. Putting them into categories. Somewhat as I did back in school. Although there were many A students in this group, mostly ASTP and Air Corps, there were a goodly share below average students. Whether the A students would make up combat soldiers remained to be seen. As far as I was concerned, that was something in the distant future. Well, you must have went to a lot of training in all those camps.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. My main concern at this time was to link up with one more fellow soldiers and cultivate a friendship, or at least a working, talking relationship. This was difficult for me to do, as I did not have social skills to manage such an undertaking. I did not make friends easily and was too critical to let some of the nature barriers down. What I did find out in my short stay in the Army, that I tended to be more open and not so critical of myself or my social setting. In the Army, everyone was practically the same environment, and such there was no social barriers as in civilian life. As I looked about, I came to realization that the selection of friends would have to occur as a natural course of events, and that I could not force it to try to make it happen. I then dismissed it in my mind and once again listened to what Lieutenant Conti was saying about the concluding remarks. I had gotten the important aspects of his talk, but not to put much credence on it, for the simple reason Lieutenant Conti, even though an officer, did not have any experience in actual combat as we did. So none of these guys that giving lectures had any combat experience. What the hell could they talk about then?
Yeah.
Lieutenant Conti was an officer that did not have any experience in the actual combat. You can absorb a field manual and know it thoroughly, but is not the same as actual experience. After the lecture, we marched back to our barracks to await chow at 1200 hours. I usually washed before eating, if all possible, and just sat around for a few minutes before going to mess hall, which opened from 11:30 to 12:30. Spotsta and Gaffney were holding everyone's attention as they were recounting about all the girls they had dated. None of us believed much what they said, or the experiences that related to Spotsta, was rather short, chubby talk with a Bronx accent. He had a Bronx accent.
Yeah.
Boasting about all of his romantic, intimate love affairs. I was no great lover, but I certainly could attain a level of achievement far superior to anything he acclaimed. The more he talks, the less I care to be around him, although I never confronted him about his escapades. I rather enjoyed eating at the mess hall, since I had overcome my anxiety of eating in a formal setting. The mess hall was clean, the food was for the most part excellent, and there was an air of congeniality about it that I did not experience before when eating at home. So at the mess hall, everyone ate together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Minutes, please.
She's not here.
Oh, okay. The seating arrangement was not formal, with the exception that the officers and non-cams had separate tables. The rest of the company could sit anywhere, and they could mingle outside their squatter section. This afforded me some opportunity to meet and get to know some of the rest of the company after a few meals. I began acquainting with several people from another platoon who were billeted several barracks away. We would usually sit together and discuss the events of the day, although our individual schedules did not always mesh.
I'm doing the show.
We did get together after retreat to go to PX
15 minutes.
PX post, theater, or just sit around about civilian life. The afternoons were taken up with more lectures, GI movies, relating something about weapons and military. We became quite proficient of our crew weapons and crew's role in operation. The gunners and assistant gunners had to be familiar with all its working parts and their functions and able to break the weapon down and reassemble it blindfold at certain allotted time. Fink and Goki became quite efficient in that as an aspect. So you had to break apart all your weapons?
Yeah.
Did you actually do it blindfolded?
No, they weren't blindfolded, no.
It's just an expression.
Yeah,
Wow. But everyone learned how to take apart their weapons.
yeah.
And was that the major reason why? That they had to clean them? Clean them? Why would you take apart a weapon? To clean it?
Well, to clean it once, if you don't go out in the field, you're not dirty, you don't have to clean it again.
But
They take it apart to get familiar with it.
Just to get familiar with it.
Yeah,
Because out in the field, you're not taking it apart.
No.
No. Do you want me to read more, or hey, you want to take care of some of these questions?
So,
You want me to read more of your book, or do you want to take care of some of these questions?
yeah, take care of some of the questions.
All right, we got a bunch of them. Some of them you don't like. If you don't care to, don't answer them. By the way, Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925. This year of 2025, Mr. Jeckovich is a centurion. He's knocking on the door of 100. That door is knocking.
Yeah.
100 years old. Isn't that amazing?
100
100 years old. That's amazing. In some countries like Chad, and Ghana, the life expectancy is only 54.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the United States, it's 76. 100 years ago,
Less.
40s, 50s maybe.
Yeah.
1,000 years ago, you'd be lucky if you made it to your 20s.
Yeah.
You'd be lucky you made it to your 20s. In the United States right now, with a population of about 300 million people, there's about 60,000 people that became centurions. There's about 60,000 people that made the 100-year-old mark. And many times, you ask people about longevity, and they give you an answer. These are the younger people. They give an answer, but they really don't know. No one knows the secret to longevity. How did you make your longevity?
Well, no smoking, no drinking, and have an easy life.
You had a easy life, yes you do. How many years you been retired for?
1980.
45 plus years, I'll be damned. And plus you had a beautiful companion. Delphine Stulak Jeckovich
Yeah.
worked very hard to make your life easy.
Oh, yeah. She was a
Great
sweetheart,
cook.
yeah.
Took care of the house.
Yeah.
No problems there.
No, I was lucky there.
Many of these guys get in these marriages and they got some real beasts. Run them into the ground.
Yeah.
Shop, never home. Keep running them into the ground. They don't give a shit. So you won the lottery in that respect. By the way, Mr. Jeckovich was married for 69 long and wonderful years, and a good secret to marriage was that he went to the Basilica in North Tonawanda, the Roman Catholic Basilica, and he proposed to his wife in the Basilica. She accepted, and then shortly thereafter they knelt on the altar of the Basilica and they prayed for a long and happy marriage. How did that prayer turn out?
69 years.
It answered. It was answered. Unfortunately now in the state of Florida, there was 90,000 divorces last year. In Florida alone.
Oh, shit.
90,000 divorces. Unfortunately, many of them are money related. Money related. It's a hard way. It's a hard way to live when husband's working 3 jobs, wife's working 3 jobs. It's a hard way because everything's so damn expensive. and it gets money related. It almost knocks on the door of being 100% money related. Not always. You get some creepy people that are cheating. That's immediate grounds for divorce. But most of it's money related. Money related. What would you give to advice to young people getting married?
First of all, know who you're marrying.
Yeah.
Be familiar with who you're marrying.
Be familiar.
9 minutes.
Be familiar. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Well, you feel up to answering some questions?
Yeah.
Like I said, if they're off the wall, don't answer. Because people from all around the world send this.
Yeah.
And they might be important to the sender, might not be important to you. Oh, by the way, Mr. Jeckovich, mine is like a library. If you have any questions for him, please text him at 407-366-0000. 407-366-0000. He'll answer, respond to all your text messages, and in fact, if you want to speak with him, he'll even allow you to talk. You can call him, he'll speak to you. Okay, so like I said, some of the questions are off the wall for people, but it might be important to them, might not be important to us. Mr. Jeckovich, what do you think came first, the chickens or the egg?
Chicken.
All right. Mr. Jeckovich, could you ever be a living organ donor?
No.
No. Mr. Jeckovich, I know you don't go to the beach much, but if you were going to go to the beach, would you swim with sharks?
No. Amber does.
Every day. Yeah, by the way, Amber is Mr. Jeckovich's great-granddaughter, and she's an avid surfer and a full-time missionary. She surfs all around the world, Bible in one hand, surfboard in the other. Spends most summers in Australia when it's summer there, winter here. She just came back from Malibu, California, was there for 3 months surfing, Hawaii, but thank God she missed the fires. The fires came afterwards. And Puerto Rico, Hawaii, you name it, she's been there. I'm probably missing 50 of them. But that's Mr. Jeckovich's great-granddaughter. And like Mr. Jeckovich says, she swims with the sharks all the time, because when you're swimming in those oceans, there's sharks under you. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. What would you describe as your perfect day, Mr. Jeckovich?
A perfect day?
Yes.
No friction, everything's going smooth, nothing coming up surprisingly.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, do you own any inflatable furniture?
Inflatable furniture?
Yeah, people today are buying inflatable
No,
couches.
I don't.
Would you ever be interested in it?
No.
Would you be interested in a water bed?
No.
Okay. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Have you ever rehearsed anything?
Anyway?
Rehearsed anything?
Rehearse?
Yeah.
Oh, subjects in school.
School?
Public, all topics, yeah.
Wow. What would you do if you're in school and you saw someone getting bullied?
Getting bullied?
If you see someone in school getting bullied?
Well, it depends who's bullying who.
Oh, okay.
I see him, I get a policeman or something for him. I don't think I'd jump in.
Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever dieted?
What?
Have you ever dieted? On a diet? Have you ever been on a diet?
No.
No. Mr. Jeckovich, does death scare you?
The what?
Mr. Jeckovich, does death scare you?
Death?
Yes.
No.
What makes you stand out in a crowd?
What made me stand out in the crowd?
Yeah.
All right. Look, keep your eyes open and your mouth shut.
Mr. Jeckovich, how did you meet Delphine Stulak?
In a Catholic school, in a Catholic church dance.
Beautiful. Was that on Main Street in Buffalo, New York?
Yes.
Mr. Jeckovich, what's the oldest thing you own?
No.
Oldest thing you own?
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, I had that knife I got in Germany. I can't find it.
Where do you think it went to?
Who knows?
Where do all your medals go to?
Yeah, who knows? All the emails I sent my mother.
Wouldn't you love to have those emails?
Yeah, 150 emails.
Those V-mails.
And she tore them up.
Wouldn't you love to have those now? I would love to have anyone's V-mails right now and just see
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you wrote. And it'd be, but yours would be the best. Mr. Jeckovich, do you always do the right thing?
No,
No.
I try to do the right thing. Sometimes you don't do it.
Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever lost faith in humanity?
No,
Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich, what always puts a smile on your face?
what?
What puts a smile on your face?
A cheerful person talking to me.
Beautiful. Mr. Jeckovich, you're almost 100 years old and you don't have that many wrinkles. Did you have plastic cosmetics?
No, I had no plastic or nothing, no.
Nothing? Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, are you good at giving directions?
Getting good, do that ain't what I'm giving directions for. If I know about it, I'll say it, yeah. But I don't know, I don't say it.
Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever won anything in your life?
I didn't want anything in my
Have
life.
you won anything in your life?
Won?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And have you won anything? Have you won a lottery? Have you won?
Oh, at school I won a scooter,
Oh, yeah?
and I won a bicycle.
You won all that in school?
Yeah. Well, when I went to the movies,
Wow.
3.5.
Saturday afternoon movies, yeah.
So that was pretty good then, huh?
Yeah, there's the raffles.
How did you, what'd your mother say about it? Was she excited
Why?
that you won all this stuff?
No, I didn't win that much. I won a scooter and a bicycle and that. She said, well, you were lucky.
Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, you jogged for 80 years. What was your favorite place to run?
Alabama.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, how did your parents meet?
How did my parents meet?
Yes.
They didn't meet over in the old country. They met over here. I guess they met in a civic auditorium or something. Where these people got together to come out of new countries.
Okay.
They have a little social gathering.
So they met over here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich, when you were in school, did you ever have a fight?
No.
Did you ever have road rage where you got out and fought with somebody?
Oh, what?
Road rage where you ever got out and fought with somebody?
No.
No. Okay, well, Mr. Jeckovich, what was one thing you remember about your grandparents?
My grandparents, I remember my grandfather,
And whose side was that on?
my mother's side,
And what do you remember about your grandfather?
smoking a pipe.
He smoked a pipe?
Yeah,
And where in Niagara Falls did he live?
down Eagle Avenue.
Okay. He was next to Uncle Andy?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he ever live with Uncle Andy?
Oh, he did?
Did he live with
Probably a while, yeah, until he passed away, yeah. That's when they took the old folks in with them.
Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich, do you prefer flowers or plants?
Flowers or plants?
Yeah.
Well, plants usually come out of flowers.
Which one do you prefer having?
Well, I could plant probably regular, I can plant stuff, but it all depends what you're planting.
Okay.
But what the soil is, what the soil condition is.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever gone on a sightseeing tour?
Sightseeing tour?
Yeah.
I think I went twice with them, yeah. Delphine and I went on a sightseeing tour, yeah.
Where was it at?
Someplace in Kentucky, one was in Texas.
Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, what was your favorite gum?
Gum?
Yeah.
Chewing gum?
Yeah.
I never chewed it.
What was your mother's favorite gum?
Never chewed it.
Okay. I see. Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever thought about becoming a preacher?
A what?
A preacher, a minister?
I did, yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And then how'd it go? Tell us how.
Huh?
Tell us how come you didn't.
But how come I
You were thinking
didn't?
about being a minister or preacher.
Yeah,
Was that a priest?
yeah, that would be a priest, wouldn't be a deacon, I was Catholic.
But you didn't go through with it, right?
No,
What
no.
changed your mind?
What? I thought there would be too many dead people involved.
Okay.